Welcome to the Mile High Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Daniel Knowles. Thank you for listening, watching, wherever you are listening, watching from. We're at the altitude of 5,280 feet, mile high territory we anticipate you being in September of 2023. Make sure if you're watching, listening, whatever station channel it's on, that you hit subscribe so you never miss any Mile High tick. And also that you make sure you mark the date to be at Mile High 11. Oh my, in 2023, in September 2023. Today, I have to say, I'm truly honored, very, very delighted to have as a guest on the podcast, Dr. Salas Redlich. Phenomenal doctor of chiropractic, graduated as a chiropractor from the Central University of Chile in 2017. He's also received a degree in the Academy of Chiropractic Philosophy, the ACP program from Sherman. He's published his book, Legacy, the Art Behind a Chiropractor, and also, and we're going to be talking about that, and that's volume 1, and there'll be more volumes to come, I'm sure, and more gifts that he brings to the profession, I have no doubt. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Hans.
Dan, I'm really honored to be here, and I'm fan of the podcast. I need to say that first to everything. I really enjoy that. I'm honored to be here with you. We talk about what you and me love, what is chiropractic.
Well, we're grateful to have you here. We're grateful to have you as a listener too. And so, we're going to talk about the art behind a chiropractor. I'm thrilled to talk about this. However, before that, I really like people getting to know what makes people tick. Meaning, get to know you personally. How did you find your way into chiropractic?
Well, it was a long journey, really long journey with many challenges. First of all, in Chile and in South America, the majority of the country, you can go to the chiropractic school. And even the people don't know what is chiropractic. So my journey started with that. Like I started to study physical therapy. I graduated for that, but I can practice like 4 months. After that, I joined to the chiropractic program. So I never mentioned that because I never feel representative of that. But the journey started when I started to study physical therapy. Start my searching like, all right, I like this, but I don't feel commitment with this. I don't feel part of this profession. I need to find something else with this. And I start to go on many seminars, really young, like 23, 22, 23 years. I spent like 10 seminars by year looking for something else. And in one seminar, I connect with one chiropractor and say, I love this. I want to learn more about that. And they say, the trouble is, Hans, you need to go to US to study chiropractic. You can find that. So I put that goal, like, all right, I find the way what I want to be. So I need to hit the goals. Okay, I only have 1 or 2 years to finish physical therapy. I will finish that. And after that, I start to preparing to go to US. I remember I sent the forms to Palmer Life College. That too, I sent the request form for that too college. And when I graduate, for some reason, I received a call for the Central University in Chile, and they called me and say, you are accepted to join to the chiropractic program, what start like in 1 month. So fast, so quick, I just jumping on, travel to Santiago, the first, the capital of Chile, like 2 hours in car. I go there, I sign the papers. Next month, start with chiropractic. That's crazy journey was how I joined to the profession.
And so now many people know around the world that the majority of chiropractic schools teach very little chiropractic. I don't think that's a secret.
Yeah.
And that there's a very few schools that have a lot of chiropractic in it. In Chile, what's the scenario for that?
Exactly the same.
Okay.
So the journey was all right. I find the spot I wanted. I start to study chiropractic, and with all that background of seminars, talks with other people, when I started chiropractic school, I really understand and I know a little bit about manual therapy, osteopath. Um, so my journey always was for that direction. And what happened the first year of the college, I feel like I'm here to learn about chiropractic. And all the things I start to receiving is what I know about manual therapy. So where is the difference about this? How I can how I can explain to someone this is not manual therapy, this is not osteopath, this is chiropractic. So so like my generation had the opportunity to find everything on internet.
Mm-hmm.
So what I say is, okay, I need to find something. And I start to reaching like in YouTube. I remember I start to reaching YouTube. I connect with one video of Arno Vernier, one of the talk, blow my mind like, wow, this is different. Why I don't hear that in the school? Why nobody talk about the philosophy,
Mm-hmm.
the force, the energy, the innate? Where I need to find that?
Uh-huh.
So, secondly, I start looking more videos. I find with one Gunstead doctor. That was the second hit. Like, why this guy use an instrument?
Right.
Why he did a different analysis? And my third match was when I start to read the Strauss book.
Ah.
Yeah, and after that, I connect and I connect with Dr. David Serio, who changed the journey, changed another direction totally after that. Like, all right, this is what I want. This is the philosophy applied on chiropractic. So that the journey had the spot, and from that, take the road directly what I want, and I'm looking for years.
Exciting. Exciting. I don't know if you know this, David Serio and I were roommates back in school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Old friends. It's funny how things work out like that. So now where who are one of the chiropractors that has most inspired you or influenced you towards a more congruent foundation, connection to chiropractic?
And for me was I always say that like if you want to go to one place or you want to learn something, you need to find a mentor. You need to find someone to can guide you and bring you knowledge you can find in the books. Maybe you can be agree with me, but many details, information, or and forms to apply the philosophy, science, and art, you can find that in a book. You can find all the details in just one seminar. So when you start to connect with people and bring your mentors, you can have
Mm-hmm.
access. You have access to that knowledge. So my first mentor is David. Is Dr. David Serio. He's the
Ah.
primary mentor I have. Andreas Oestrom too is my second distance mentor. And that too for me was the more important in my career because they shift my paradigm directly.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, you can have mentors in other aspects. And what I talk in the book is like you can search information for one specific thing like chiropractic,
Mm-hmm.
but you can have inspiration applied of different methods in other things. Like when I was young, more young, little young, a baby, teenage,
Mm-hmm.
I saw influence for the sport. the sport mentality, the focus, the presence, the respect the process. So many things I apply on practice, on chiropractic, come from that too.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Excellent. You know, being someone who studied physical therapy, and this is a question that comes up so frequently, what really is the difference between physical therapy and chiropractic? So for someone who went in that direction initially, what can you say is the essence of the difference between physical therapy and chiropractic?
What I can say is about you can have first of all, we need to set the base of that. The both professions are needed, have one goal in common, what is help people.
Mm-hmm.
But they have different ways to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The physical therapy only look for treat musculoskeletal problems. Goes the pain away. How you feel, Danny? Feel awesome. All right, we are done. Chiropractic care is independent of if you have symptoms or not, if you have problem or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's a care system for life.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take care people with symptoms or without, with or without problems. So from that, I are different paradigms and focus on different things. So maybe through with our talking, I can go more deep with that.
Now, well, and let's do that because we're talking about the art behind a chiropractor. This is something that we see in people coming out of many chiropractic schools where they don't perceive the difference of the art of chiropractic, the difference of an adjustment versus a manipulation. And they say it's the same thing. They're not. Okay, but
totally not. Totally
one of my first patients, I was a student at Sherman College in the clinic, and I asked my neighbor if she would be a patient in the clinic, right? And she said she called it a manipulation, and she said, "Oh, if I can get a manip," that's what she called it, a manip. And I was like, what? I said, no, we do adjustments. And I explained it to her, and she came in, and she'd been having manips and manipulations for years, maybe by chiropractors and other healing arts practitioners also. I don't know. But, you know, her first week in care, and I was a student, I didn't necessarily know much of what I was doing, right? In terms of skill set. Yeah. And first week in care, her blood pressure had been elevated, and she got off our blood pressure medications. You know, because all I did was toggle recoil on her, 2 or 3 or something like that in her first week. But there's a difference in the physiological change of an adjustment versus a manipulation. Can you share a little bit about the difference of, you know, in the art of an adjustment versus a manipulation for people?
All right. You put a little pressure on me about this. Here we go.
Well, it's a good discussion for people because it's a point of confusion for so many.
And always you can have different point of perspective between chiropractors because we have more than 300 ways to deliver chiropractic care. So for some people, the structural foundation can be more resonate more with them. For others, the tonal foundation can have more resonance with them. So we have many ways to understand this, but the basic is what you want to manipulate something in the spine.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the goal to adjust something in the spine. Behind that, from that, have different interests. So the manipulation want to move something is stuck, don't move. The adjustment only wants to reconnect one nerve interference. So from that, both have different indicators. So the principal difference from one concept is who are using more indicators to bring one analysis. Many times the manipulation don't have analysis. It's like, this is a stuck joint, I need to move. But never come that thoughts about why this doesn't move. I need to move that. Maybe one stuck joint is helping to the body to stay in balance, and or trying to maintain something to not get more worse. So the adjustments never think about that. It's like, we need to adjust the subluxation. That's it. You never can adjust the subluxation manipulating the spine.
Right. And so this is a very important area of conversation. When I was at in a conversation I had with Tom Gilardi about Sherman, people often talk about Sherman, that it's known for the philosophy, that's known for the philosophy and teaching about your objective. And I'm sure there was part of the ACP, and that Sherman, people say, well, you have to go to Sherman because you learn what chiropractic is, you learn the philosophy. And I said to Dr. Gilardi that I actually feel there's a second part to it that's part of what's unique at Sherman that you don't really hear too much in chiropractic circles, even in the principled philosophical part of the profession, which is that relative to Sherman's approach in the art, and what they highlight was the concept of pattern, and that the nerve system that's subluxated is stuck, and the nerve system is healthy that's not subluxated is dynamic. And I don't think a lot of chiropractic institutions teach that. In fact, I don't know if anyone other than Sherman really focuses on that.
It is how I shared in the beginning, like many things you can find in the school, you can find in seminars, because are deep talks. Sometimes you can have that questions or thoughts after the seminar, just talking with people. So for me, and why trying to, I'm writing the volume 2 of the art, the legacy behind chiropractic. So in the volume 2 we cover that, and I want to share many things I learned from my mentors about the adjustment is through the art, but the art is a mixture of two walls, because you can adjust if you don't have the philosophy right, and you can adjust if you don't not have the science behind to why you do that and how you need to apply one adjustment. Right? The adjustment is not about making crack the spine. If you are not analyzing the system of one person, you never can understand. Some people don't need a structural adjustments. Some people need more tonal adjustments. Or some people, if you are using instrumentation, for example, you never know what happened in the system, because you're educated always make complex the simple things. Your educated mind always make complex the simple things. So when you have a system to detect, analysis, and correct the subluxation, you had that two worlds into one piece, and that is your art. And also the art need to be combined with your essence, who you are, how your mind are. So if one person is a structural person, probably never can work with network, because don't fit with his personality. The same for this is just examples, but you get the point, right?
Yeah.
So in one aspect you can use pattern, but you need to have a system to analyze that pattern.
Mhm.
In guns, for example, you don't use pattern. You have a specific analysis of where you find the break, and from that you start to analyze other indicators.
Mhm.
So what you say is right. Like I know Tom. I spend time with him. I have the opportunity to spend time with him, talk about email, go to the house with Betty. I enjoy that. But yeah, you can hear things from him you never can hear in another place.
Right. Right. So, this book, The Art Behind a Chiropractor, is available on Amazon. People can grab it there. What inspired you to begin that project?
First of all, I'm I always are looking information. I want to really understand more things. How I told you before we start with the program, uh, some people are always looking for something. Some people have the opportunity to connect with people with more knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I have that gift to connect with people, have more information, uh, are many things that people need to know. Like, sadly, today in chiropractic, many schools don't teach chiropractic.
Mm-hmm.
So we have many young colleagues, maybe like me, I'm young in the profession.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super young.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you can start to talk with people. In Chile, for example, many people start to thinking like physical therapy. They never change the paradigm. Some people from other schools around the world, they graduate from the first like chiropractors, but they don't understand what chiropractic is and how chiropractic need to be applied. So in the book, I just the book is separated in three parts, three biggest parts. One of the part is my journey. Why I become a chiropractor? What was my questions in the beginning? Like how I shared in the beginning of the program, like when you have a background of something, you can detect where something don't have difference,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to take a decision about that. I never feel comfortable like a physical therapy, so when I joined to the chiropractic school was I want to learn about chiropractic.
Mm-hmm.
I want to develop as a chiropractor, and I want to bring chiropractic care to my people. I don't want to bring physical therapy. I don't spend money and time studying something what I really already know,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So one of the part of the book is sharing that question, because many people can ask like maybe Hans have a point, you know. Maybe I need to find another way or connect with more people, find a mentor. The second is a little behind of the history behind chiropractic, how it was developed, how was we are a profession of fighters. We fight for survive. And
Mm-hmm.
today we have the gift, the opportunity to deliver chiropractic care to the people because that people who was in jail, who was congruent and stand for say, this is different. This is not medical. This is not physical therapy. We're not treating people. We
Mm-hmm.
adjust vertebral subluxation.
Right.
Don't exist, I will bring you the x-rays. Yeah, but in this the history say that like, all right, the x-rays show you move a bone, but it's not the bone, it's about the nervous system. Show
Mm-hmm.
me. All right, with the better instrumentation. So the profession always was hitting the challenge from the beginning. But something happened over the 70s when chiropractic lost his identity.
Mm-hmm.
So and I share some of that. I share some little aspects about the practice, what I learned from my mentors. I mentioned in the book many mentors I have to help me with this path, and I still today I have many time calls with other colleagues from Latin America, someone's for US, and say, dude, the book told me about things I never heard. Why I need to have assistance in the practice?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And the third part of the book is just things to help me to develop my art, to understand how I need to develop my art, and understand is the art is the expression of yourself and how you apply the philosophy and the science. This
Mm-hmm.
is the art. This is the art, and the goal was that, like, only share the opportunity I have to have information and knowledge for people with many more years of me, and just share it. If it can help you, of course. We live here, the chiropractic profession live today because we have a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
We have a legacy, and that legacy is expressed in the art behind a chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
Need to be a part of you, and you need to have that understanding to stand up and be secure and say, I'm a different healthcare professional.
Mm-hmm.
I deliver something was is unique. You never can find this in other profession. And many times maybe happened to me. Many probably have happens to many people on the profession, like you said in the beginning. Hi, I want to go to the I want to come to the chiropractic with you. But you know what? I have experience with chiropractor in the past. And sometimes happen that people go with your practice and find this is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't move all my spine. I want a crack in my neck. No. This is different. And
Mm-hmm.
this is why it's different.
Mm-hmm.
So we are constantly in challenge. The book just sharing part of my journey, part of my goals. I'm super proud of some things I
Mm-hmm.
success in that aspect. Like when you look at back, you say, dude, I only have 5 years, 6 years in the profession. And many people ask that question, Danny, like, why you doing a book? Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Right. Right. That's a wonderful question. Very wonderful answer. Why not? We have to um, have the world, and there's a lot of spines that are distorted that do not have chiropractors. We have to the world get to chiropractors, and we have to get chiropractic to chiropractors for the world to get chiropractic. So no better time than now to reach more chiropractors with chiropractic, so they can reach more people. In the book, one of the chapters, chapter 5 here, Journey to Mastery. Can you say anything about key things for people on the journey towards mastery when it comes to the art?
Well, first of all, I start searching that. This is my path. I really want to hit that in some moment. I put a lot of pressure on that on myself. You can talk with David, and he can say that, like, has never stopped to make any questions. We have questions, but the first of if you want to start this journey of become a master in your art is first of all find what system of chiropractic fit with you. Like you
Mm-hmm.
need to do, and that is the big challenge. Like you need to really go deep with yourself and discover who you are, how you want to bring this to the people. And one of that ways, the first answer is how you want to bring or receive chiropractic care for yourself. How you want to receive chiropractic for yourself, because that is one of the biggest incongruence we have in the profession. Many people are in the chiropractic profession but don't have chiropractic care. So how the hell you want the people go with you if you don't go to the chiropractor or you don't have your own chiropractor to take care of yourself? So that is the point one. Find what system and analysis fit with yourself. That's the first question. Second, find a mentor. That is key. Find a mentor to can guide you to advance better, fast, and you can resume many years with the right mentor. Like, and that this is for me something I get. Maybe can sound a little bit more ego part, but I really feel it's not, because that happened to me in the beginning. Like many people to my generation in the school say, "You are done. We do all the work, all the job to bring chiropractic to the people. So when you open your practice, the job is done. You don't need to take care of people." That is not true. First of all, what kind of chiropractic you deliver to the people? Maybe I want to bring something different. And sometimes many people can have many years in practice without a mentor, without a guide, and they discover how apply his practice the last 2 years. If you have a right mentor, maybe in 2 years you can have more advance in the knowledge, understanding, and how apply chiropractic in your practice, really more fast, more consequent, more congruence with other person with more years. So for me, the years are important, but it's not really a key of your growth, your success. Like one of the things you can find the numbers of your practice. One person can tell you, Danny, you never can get what I have. I see 100 people a week. Maybe if you had the right mentor, if you really put your intention in actions, maybe in 2 years, you can start to seeing 200, 300 people a week. And if you calculate that by year, maybe in 1 year with that volume, you are seeing more people getting more experience and becoming a better chiropractor to one people who get 10 years seeing 80 people a year. So the math are simple. One plus one are two. But if you have one more three are four. So you can double the experience to practice there. So that is my second point. And only when bring three, because if not, I will start to talking all the calls, all the program. So my third program is challenge yourselves to be better. You are competing with yourself, with no other people. So the only people can bring a limitation to your growth are yourself. So work on that.
Right. So I know that you're just getting started, and there's a lot that we can continue to expect from you. What is next, or what are you working on, our projects now?
We're working on many things, to be honest. I think my first and more important goals right now is my family. I have a baby, one close to have 1 year. So my focus is on my family, a chiropractic philosophy family. We live the life in that way. So it's a challenge because you have many cultural and thinking conflicts with other people. So my project number one is my child can grow in a world with all the things passed through a philosophy understanding to the decisions, to be congruent on that. And the second is, of course, the practice, get more people, help more people to live without subluxation, and expand that to the world. Like, I'm really honored to be here with you, to maybe can share my perspective. Maybe you can help something to, all right, is this guy with 5 years in experience. are doing stuff, why they not? So
Mm-hmm.
we have people with years of experience. Why you not write a book?
Mm-hmm.
Why not do it? And my third project is the books. I'm writing the volume 2, um, but now I'm writing that book with more calm. I'm processing more things. I making questions more deeply, more deeper. Um, and for the second volume, I start to reach people with more knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So the second volume go directly to the art, but the application of the art.
Mm-hmm.
So when you need to go deep in one adjustment and why you need to go deep, what are the indicators for that?
Mm-hmm.
When you need to do a toggle adjustment, when and why you need to make a tonal adjustment, what are the indicators of that?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened with the science? What research said about that? Why in the 2022 we have more access, more technology? The schools don't teach about thermography, for example,
Yeah.
don't teach about X-ray analysis. So chiropractic profession have more of 120 years of development and growth. Why never talk about that? What happened there? So the second volume go really more deeply. And the third book, the third volume, I'm writing in the same moment, because the volume 3 is only mentor, is a talk mentor to mentor. The legacy volume 3 is mentor to mentor. So in that book, I only will share knowledge about my mentors or mentors of their mentors, share it with them. So it was a philosophical thoughts only in the volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that is it's a long time project. I recognize I need to understand a lot of more things. Uh, Even with, in my case, for example, I had the opportunity and the gift to have a David Siri in my life. He have a tons of information, knowledge, but sometimes I ask question and say, "This is a good question, Hans, but first of all, you need to get more experience in this area."
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have information without a base, you can take another direction of this path and lose it. So we start on that. I recognize that, right? I'm good in this. I have a base, a really good base. Thanks for all the people I connect. But I recognize I have a tons of challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say in the beginning, like trying to fit your family life with your practice is an art.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for this call, we spent like 3 weeks to fit the call. Like we are really busy on this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And
And
that happens. That's what happens when you're filled with passion and want to do more and want to give more. And we're at an interesting crossroads in the history of the chiropractic profession, and people giving gifts like you are vital to chiropractic thriving in a coherent model with its principles and values. Truly. So I want to encourage again people to grab this book, Art of Chiropractic, Art Behind the Chiropractor, on Amazon. And one last question, which
awesome,
is
awesome, awesome.
this: you said if there's
I'm excited.
one,
I want to hear the question because I'm like, all right.
what if there's one thing that you want chiropractors to gain, to learn? If there's one thing them to know from you, what would it be?
You never can stop to learning. You never can stop to learning. Ask questions, ask many questions, because between the more questions you are or you are making for yourself, more answers you can have. But that answer bring you to new questions to go more deep and more deep, and you can repeat that all the time. And sometimes when you through this path, you start to knowing new people to bring you more knowledge, to bring you more questions. It's not about you always make the questions. Sometimes you will receive the questions, and you need to be open to go deep with that, because in some moment you will be in one place. Like this is real. This is a real history what happened to me, because chiropractic is more than practice. You need to find how apply chiropractic in your life and start learning how apply in different aspects of your life too. So was the year to 2019, we go to the IRAPs on Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
So we one group of friends, we have the opportunity to go with Tom to the house to dinner with Tom and Betty, Tom Gilardi and Betty Gilardi. And of course, I go with many questions, but Tom bring me one question, and that blew my mind and was what hit all my years as still today. Like he says something like, "You are interested man because you have many questions, but what is the answer? Really, the answer on why you're doing those questions?
Mm-hmm.
What happened inside you with removate to ask question all the time and apply, of course, the things, and that's the reason why I write the book,
Mm-hmm.
because the major reason of what all I do is because we live in a legacy of chiropractic. You need to recognize that, and you need to understand you have a moral responsibility about that.
Yes, that's a very good
And
point.
and many people will say, David asks this question all the time, and I heard that question for many chiropractors, and they say, if you will be the last chiropractor in the world,
Mm-hmm.
chiropractic will survive. If I was the last chiropractor in the world, chiropractic will survive,
Mm-hmm.
because the action what I make go for that. The second thing I learned from Tom come from other persons who say always thinks on 5 generations of the future.
Mm.
Always when you do something, think about that. Think in more generations.
Mm-hmm.
Because how I fit with chiropractic, how I discover my understanding was searching, and
Mm-hmm.
was because people upload a video or upload a talk in YouTube. It's because one I go to one seminar to one person, I ask questions and I spend time with them outside the seminar. So always be open to learn, find a mentor, be the fire and lead the fire of chiropractic, bring the legacy and be congruent with that, and looking for impact 5 generations in the future, even in your practice, even in the chiropractic community. Um, but more important for me, and what is my goal to the future, is share the philosophy,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a worldview perspective who can change all the decisions you make in your life, and start with you and start with your family, because you never know what you say can impact millions of people tomorrow. Like I can't remember the quote complete of BJ Palmer, but that is the point. You
Right.
never know. You never know.
And while I'm sure the person that connected you to chiropractic or start to bubble that up within you did not know that this would be the outcome. And that's a thing that happens with every single patient visit, every adjustment you deliver, everybody, every member of your team, and having responsibility to that and accountability to that is a different standard.
Totally. I'm totally agree. I'm totally agree.
Right? That often people just don't even realize. So, well, I want to thank you so much for your contributions to chiropractic and your contributions to come. Also, thank you so much for taking the time of your busy schedule, family life, new baby to be on the Mile High podcast. And also, thank you for valuing so much so the statement that nature needs no help; it just needs no interference. There's few that the number of people that value it, understand it, and apply it in their life are few, and those are the people that we love because they value what we love, and they know that chiropractic is vital for humanity when it's and delivered coherently, congruently to our principles and values. So thank you so much, Dr. Hans, and thank everyone for listening and watching the Mile High podcast. And be sure to hit subscribe, whether you're watching this on Stitcher or YouTube or Facebook or whatever channel it might be. Make sure to never miss an episode of Mile High Tick, and we look forward to seeing you on higher ground in September of 2023. RiseUpToMileHigh.com is where you can get all those details. Again, thank you, Hans.
Thank to you, Danny. I really enjoy. We can spend more time talking and sharing things. You share something about nature don't need interference. Just
well, I look forward to
I have probably the more powerful history about that quote. I can share that another time because it's really important for me. That quote changed everything in my life.
Well,
so thank to you.
We'll do that. We'll do that on episode 2.
We only need to find the dates and hour, and we're done. I really enjoy the program.
Yes, and thank you for being a listener, and thank everyone. Thank you for changing spines, lives, and minds around the world with chiropractic, and keep on keeping on. And we look forward to seeing people on higher ground, as we said, in 2023.